Another Christian element that I see in The Hobbit, and perhaps other people will, is this certain kind of hero. Bilbo has been picked for a certain reason, not because he's particularly strong or particularly courageous or particularly, well, anything other than he won't give up at the end, but there's lots of people that might do that. I'm going to suggest that Bilbo is picked. Yes, he is quite resourceful and maybe a bit of an extraordinary hobbit, but he's also picked because this journey, as Gandalf promises, will do him some good. By the way, he's promised, you know, it'll be good for you and profitable too. There's that lovely line. But profitable, not in that he's going to get 1/14th share of the dragon's hoard as he's promised. If you read the very ending, he comes back with just 2 little chests, as much as 1 pony will carry of silver and gold. Now, it makes him kind of a wealthy hobbit, but not vastly wealthy. But so how is it good for him and profitable in one sense? Well, it's profitable in a very different kind of way, and I would say a very Christian kind of way. Bilbo's been living a world that's too small. You know, Jesus once said, I've come that they might have life, comma, and have it more abundantly. And Bilbo's kind of living on this side of the comma. He's got life, he's surviving, but he doesn't have that abundant life that he's going to have. And this journey is going to be the exact thing that's going to take him out of himself and free him of the things he needs, he's too tied to, and then bring him back with a renewed zest for life. And in this, it's very Christian, because as Christians, it seems to me, whenever we've called on any kind of a mission trip, right? We've gone out supposedly to help somebody else. When we get back home, we want to tell our friends, how was it? Oh, you can't believe how good it was for me. I have students all the time at school at Asbury. They go out on a mission trip and they come back and the first thing they'll say, Dr. Brown, I thought I was going to help those people in Costa Rica or Nicaragua or Haiti, and I was the one that was helped. And so, of course, Bilbo comes back, and he's the one that's changed. And how is he changed? There's a certain kind of story where this wimpy little guy leaves home and comes back a warrior. And that's a very secular kind of fairy tale. Well, that's not Bilbo's case. He does acquire a sword, but he only draws it once, and that's to defeat a spider. He doesn't use it in the Battle of 5 Armies. And again, if you were writing a secular fairy tale, you certainly wouldn't have your protagonist come out at the climactic Battle of 5 Armies, get conked on the head, get knocked unconscious, and wake up after it's all over. That's not the story Tolkien wants to tell. He wants to tell the story that's more like our own. At the beginning, Bilbo's a little too attached to his 4 o'clock tea. He's a little too attached to his pocket handkerchiefs, and he's a little too proud of those brass buttons on his vest, right? And at some point, he has to lose all these things. Not because they're bad, but because he's made, as I would say, he's made second things into first things, right? He's too attached and thinks he can't live without them. If we look at Bilbo closely when he comes back, he's got that kettle singing on the hearth, and its song is even dearer to him than before he's left. He's given up his handkerchief, but if you read carefully, he's got a red silk handkerchief that Elrond the elf has lent him, right? And instead of those brass buttons that he, by the way, lost as he popped through the goblin's dungeon, that little squeezy door, he's got really snazzy ones on. So all these things have been restored now that they're in their proper place. Tolkien's friend Lewis put it this way. You can't get second things by placing them first, but by putting them second, keeping them in their rightful place, they're meant to be enjoyed. These are God's gifts to us. And as long as we don't put them in, as long as we keep them in their proper place, they're meant to be enjoyed even more. And that's what Bilbo comes back to. He comes home with a renewed sense of what's important and what's not. And of course, this is the kind of book that reminds us of that very same thing. Because there's a certain kind of book, and I would say Tolkien's works are among them, that remind us of who we are, why we're here, and what's most important. And of course, what Bilbo learns, we learn as well.